5 news stories of the day. Now, the stage is set for a classic Congress versus White House showdown. The Senate passed the Keystone XL Pipeline bill, which means its next stop is the president's desk. But the commander-in-chief had promised to veto the bill should it come across his path. The question now becomes, will he? You know, on one side of the aisle, leaders say the pipeline would create jobs and have little effect on the environment, while the other side says it's really benefiting foreign countries, not the U.S., and it's just not worth the environmental risk. The pipeline's goal would be to funnel oil quicker from Canada to the Gulf of Mexico. Moving overseas, the clock has pretty much run out on the last deadline ISIS militants set to secure the release of 2 hostages, a Japanese journalist and Jordanian pilot. Families have been pleading with their respective governments and ISIS militants to let the 2 men go, but time continues to pass with no sign that the 2 are even still alive. The negotiations for release center on the Jordanian government. Now, ISIS says they will release the pilot in exchange for a woman prisoner on death row in Jordan. And moving closer to home, a gas explosion devastated the maternity ward of a hospital in Mexico City, killing 3 and injuring at least 60 people. Yesterday, this happened. Among the dead are 2 infants and a young woman. The blast happened yesterday morning when a tanker was resupplying propane to the kitchen of the hospital when a hose burst. The workers yelled for people to get out. Mexican authorities say both the worker and driver of the truck were inside the hospital and are also now in custody for the time being. And a mechanical problem at a Boston subway station caused chaos and panic yesterday morning as passengers on the subway at Quincy Station were smashing windows to escape a smoke-filled red line. But crews say the smoke was never in the train and that the mechanical failure was outside, producing a small burst of smoke. Now, crews say the train will be taken out for service for now. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. And last in your top 5 headlines, the great vaccine debate rages on as California is in the midst of a measles outbreak. One pediatrician is weighing in, saying he will no longer see patients whose parents refuse to get them vaccinated. The doc says not only are they putting their own children at risk, but also the kids in his waiting room. The sentiment is a shared one in the medical community, but those still feel like, of course, it should be the parents' choice. You know, some mothers say that they feel really betrayed when being dropped by a doctor, especially because, you know, they do their research, and many of these doctors have been their family pediatrician for years. They know their children, but I can understand from the pediatrician's point, if they don't agree with that, then they have to protect their other patients.
Yeah, I get it as well, but you know, the parents are protecting their kids, and
I know.
you know, it's a hard topic to discuss.
Hence the debate.
Hence the
ongoing.
debate. But
yes.
hey, listen.